Welcome to Madrid. Here we are at Corporate Excellence Center for Reputational Leadership, a think tank created by large companies to help companies all around the world in managing in an excellent way their intangible assets, both reputation, communications, as well as corporate brand and purpose. And it is my pleasure today to present the results of our annual report, Approaching the Future, Trends in Reputation and Intangible Management. The reason why we carry out this piece of report every year is because our purpose is to help organizations, professionals, as well as companies around the world to manage their intangibles. So here we are with Justin, the president of Global Alliance.
Thank you, Angel. I'm absolutely delighted to be here today as President and CEO of Global Alliance, representing over 320,000 practitioners and academics across 126 countries worldwide. We are delighted to be part of this great report for this momentous occasion.
Justin, thank you very much indeed. And in fact, we have the privilege to have here Clara Fontan, the director of the study.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to having this opportunity and to share with you the key findings and the major issues that we have discovered with a great impact on business agenda. So today we will have the opportunity to discover this landscape of issues and giving you the main challenges and the actions plan that companies are facing today. So the plan is that we are going to make a short introduction, a video with a short introduction. Then we will have the global perspective of Global Alliance, our worldwide partner in this project. And then Angel and myself will try to summarize key findings in a easy way, if we can say that, to share with you the result of this year. So we are looking forward to sharing it with you and having you the opportunity to discover what we have as a roadmap for everybody and all the organization across the globe.
And please remember, this is not a report good for reading. It is something that you have to download because it's going to be useful for you on an everyday basis. Download it.
An essential tool for analysing the biggest global trends in reputation and intangible asset management influencing the business agenda. Approaching the Future is a unique guide that enables organisations to understand the trends with the greatest impact on the business agenda from a wide range of different perspectives. Above all, the report provides organisations with the right decision-making tools so that they can integrate reputation and intangible asset management into their own organisations. With in-depth research from more than 600 professionals across 55 countries globally, together with a wide-ranging network of over 32 collaborating identities. Approaching the Future is the Bible of responsible organization management leadership. A must bestseller read for all organizations. After the impact of the pandemic, organizations are redefining their priorities, response in a reality in full transformation, characterized by social and economic instability generated to a large extent by the war in the Ukraine, growing social inequality, and the climate emergency. In the face of this uncertainty and unstable reality, the answer seems clear. There is a glaring need to advance the activation and implementation of corporate purpose in the form of promotional and responsible leadership. These two trends lead to the priority rankings in this edition. Results show organizations are increasingly aware of their role as drivers of change, and therefore the main conclusion of this year's report 2022 is that the consolidation of purpose is a key pillar in the transformation of organizations. Development of purpose has been identified as the solution to the need for more consciousness, better governance, sociality, and environmentally responsible and sustainable business models. In 2022, alongside purpose and responsible leadership, more strategic long-term trends such as the management and promotion of diversity, equality and inclusion, as well as ESG matrix and sustainability reporting have gained relevance. Among the 16 trends identified in this edition as defining the present and future of intangible asset management, two new issues have emerged: building stakeholder trust and CEO reputation. Representing more than 320,000 practitioners and academics across 126 countries worldwide, I am absolutely delighted to be here in Madrid today to launch Approaching the Future 2022, together with all my fellow colleagues right around the world. And what will follow is an introduction and an insight from each of our regional global representatives across our regional councils.
Our role as PR professionals is strategic and matters more than ever. And this is why
we want to invite all of you to use Approaching the Future 2022 report
as a tool to navigate in a complex world
and demonstrate the strategic value of our function.
It's going to make a significant difference to you as a strategic communications and public relations professional.
It is an invaluable tool for you.
Download it today.
Approaching the Future 2022 report. Please download this new edition.
Approaching the Future.
Approaching the Future, Trends in Reputation and Intangible Asset Management is an annual report by Corporate Excellence, Center for Reputation Leadership, and Canvas Estrategias Sostenibles, as well as the Global Alliance as our worldwide partner. The report is an essential tool for obtaining practical knowledge of the global trends in reputation and intangible asset management that are having the biggest impact on the business agenda, as well as the courses of action being taken and the biggest challenges being faced by organizations in the integration of intangible capital. And why do we do this? Because we're totally convinced that those companies that are able to understand the power of intangibles as elements of construction and protection of business value will be able to achieve two things. On one end, they will be able to generate lasting differentiation. And on the other end, they will be able to build social and relational capital to accomplish the engagement and authentic recommendations on a big scale. And the purpose that we pursue with this report of excellence, intelligence, and perspective, because it is not a tool that is meant to be left on the shelf. It is meant to be used on a daily basis to help all professionals and companies navigate successfully in this social and economic context in which we're immersed and which we could call the economy of reputation and intangibles.
Approaching the Future moves each year towards a more international and in-depth analysis, allowing us to understand the implication of trends in the management of intangible in organizations, both now and in the coming years. And how do we do this? Through two phases of the study. In the first phase, we focus on identifying trends based on a review of over 400 sources, social foresight studies, in-depth interviews with 9 international experts to gain an understanding of what lies ahead. We then analyze these trends through the vision of professionals. In this edition, we have counted on the participation of 600 professionals from 55 countries who partook in the online survey, an increase of 25% as compared to the previous edition of the report. We have also relied on the views of society taken from an analysis of online conversations.
This edition presents 16 key findings that are shaping the present and the future of organizations in terms of reputation, brand sustainability, ethics, and transparency. We have observed how, after the impact of the pandemic, organizations are redefining their priorities in order to respond to a reality in the midst of transformation characterized by the social and economic instability generated to a large extent by the war in Ukraine, growing social inequality, and the climate emergency.
In the face of this uncertain and unstable reality, the answer seems clear. There is a glaring need to advance in the activation and implementation of corporate purpose and in the promotion of responsible leadership. These are the two trends that led the ranking of priorities in this edition, and they have been prioritized in response to the urgent challenges and to the need to make a positive impact on environments in which companies operate. Corporate purpose is an area that has been present throughout the 7-year history of this study, but in this edition it has climbed 4 places in the ranking to first position. It is therefore consolidated as a key pillar in the transformation of organizations. It is also worth noting that purpose is not just the most prioritized trend for organizations. It is also the area in which they are working on the most. This is interesting because the percentage of companies working on the activation and implementation of purpose has gained increase in 2022. So we see a positive and increasing trend in this field. Purpose is followed by the drive of responsible leadership, a trend that emerged last year in the face of growing demands on the role of organization and the need to foster a new, more responsible and inclusive leadership styles. This trend remains relevant for organization and speaks to the need to drive long-term balanced value creation for all stakeholder groups. Alongside these two trends, and in the first level of priorities, we find strategic issues demanded by business context and society, such as digitalization, the promotion of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and corporate governance. It is worth highlighting the significant growth of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This trend has increased the most in relevance, going up 8 places in the ranking of priorities as compared to the previous edition of this report. Corporate governance and ethics are in the top 5 priorities and are also more relevant as compared to 2021 as a result of increasing regulatory, social, and investor demands.
This concludes the top 5 trends included in the first level of relevance. But it is very interesting to see how the second level of relevance includes key aspects for achieving and extending the license to operate of organizations and for strengthening and protecting their social and relational capital with stakeholders, such as the management of reputation and reputational risk, corporate communication and advertising, the creation of stakeholder trust. The level of relevance also includes key issues related to the management of enhancement of sustainability, such as the 2030 Agenda and ESG metrics and reporting. Both trends have increased in relevance as compared to 2021. Something interesting is the increase in relevance assigned to the 2030 Agenda, since one of the most striking conclusions of the 2021 edition was that this trend had fallen in relevance and fewer organizations were working on it. To this effect, as predicted by the in-depth interviews conducted with experts, the countdown to actions and the need to move forward with the concrete solutions to the challenges presented by the 2030 Agenda have increased in relevance.
Finally, among the trends that obtain relevance from professionals, we find issues such as adapting to the future of work, cybersecurity, and aspects related to the public positioning of organizations, such as the CEO's reputation and the driving of activist brands. It is worth noting that the future of work is the trend that has decreased the most in relevance in 2022, falling 7 positions. This can be attributed to a consolidation of hybrid models, which have already become a reality for organizations. But that does not align with the results we obtained in the analysis of online conversations, where we observed that it is the topic that brings together the highest volume of conversation. So although it loses importance for organization, it is still very relevant for citizens. The lowest ranking trends in the ranking of priorities both relate to sustainability, which include climate change and ESG fundraising and investment.
Throughout the study, we also delve into the main areas of work and the challenges faced by professionals in driving these trends. Among them, in 2022, the need and the effort being made to integrate intangibles as a strategic part of business management stand out, including from the development of reputation metrics and consolidation of the perception models and indicators to the linking of reputation and ESG performance to senior management remuneration systems. It is worth noting that among the 16 key findings identified in this edition as defining the present and the future of intangible asset management, 2 new findings have emerged: building stakeholder trust and CEO reputation. In this new context of stakeholder capitalism, where the key to success is the generation of long-term value to all stakeholders, trust is crucial for gaining and extending the license to operate and strengthening social and relational capital. Moreover, the leadership role of company executives is also imperative, as it embodies the positioning of organizations in the public domain on issues of general interest. And this concludes the trends presented in Approaching the Future 2022. We hope that this new edition will contribute to advances in the transformation of organizations to build together new models of leadership that are more resilient, that generate stakeholder trust and commitment, and that enable organizations to integrate reputation, sustainability, transparency, and ethics as key pillars of the management of companies with a future.
Now is the time to prepare to successfully navigate in this new context, integrating intangible assets into daily activities and developing excellent management capabilities that will allow us to consolidate the role of companies as responsible agents that serve as catalysts of change and transformation. Discover Approaching the Future and take a step toward the business model of the future.
Thank you very much to everyone, and especially to Justin Green, to Clara Fontan, and to the 32 partners with whom we have developed this year our annual report. Thanks also to the more than 600 people who responded to our questionnaire in more than 55 countries. So thank you.
Thank you, Angel, and thank you, Clara, for having Global Alliance here today. We are truly proud to be part of this momentous occasion, and I know that every organization around the world will gain huge beneficially from this report. It is the Bible of asset management. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin, and thank you so much, Angel. So I think that now it's time to download Approaching the Future 2022, Trends in Reputation and Intangible Asset Management. It's here to stay, and it's up to you to use it as a strategic tool for developing the future of companies. Don't forget to download the report
right now.